Hey everyone, Kevin Hanlon here. I go by Skyburial on Nugget Bridge and Twitter. And I've got band practice in about 20 minutes, but I thought that I would go ahead and get you guys a new episode set up. Just because I'm really excited about this new team that I've been running, and I wanted to get it out in the world as fast as possible, basically. So yeah, it's based off of Japan Sand, which was a really popular team in 2015 that involved Mega Salamence, Tyranitar, and Excadrill. And basically, Lee Camacho, which is a good friend of mine, he goes by Rain Dance King on Twitter. He and I basically went down point for point what made that team good. And Sans Amoonguss, which was one of the pivotal Pokemon on the team, we tried to reconstruct it as best we could, and it actually turned out being great. We all have made 100-point climbs on the Showdown ladder and had really good win records with it. And everyone on Team Colorado, which is my team building group, is really excited about this team. So Tapu Fini actually ends up being really great on this team, and this is the first that I've built that I can actually say that about it. So we're just gonna go ahead and hop on the ladder. I've got a lot of really good answers to common things. So yeah, confidence is through the roof right now, honestly. So let's see who we get matched up against. We've got a pretty solid record so far, and we get matched up against God, and it looks like he's got a Raichu team with Tapu Lele, and that Arcanine could be a bit of a problem, except that we've got a bunch of really good sand options. The Melodic could be threatening, so I would probably want to bring Tapu Koko or Celesteela. Tapu Koko actually sounds better. Let's see. I think he's probably running Scarf Tapu Lele based on the team construction. And I think Drampa is something that we're not going to see just because, Okay. Yeah, so I think I actually want to lead Tapu Fini or Tapu Koko. And Gigalith. So I will put, let's see, I want to bring Celesteela because he's got a couple answers to it, but it's my best way of handling Kartana. So I think I will go, let's see, I think I'll go Tapu Koko, and then I'll put Dugtrio and Celesteela in the back. I don't want to give that Melodic any grounds for getting an Intimidate boost, and this gives me a lot of answers to the Raichu, so we're gonna lock it in. Yeah, a lot of answers to the Raichu, a lot of answers to the Kartana, so we're gonna do our best here. The Arcanine could be a little bit of a problem, but honestly, we've got our Gigalith, so I'm not too worried about it. So let's see how God does. Let's see. Alright, so we actually see a Drampa lead here, which is interesting. Let's find out if this Tapu Fini is okay. So it's a Scarf Lele, which is interesting. So yeah, that'll be neat. Oh, and it's a Cloud9 Drampa. Also interesting. I think I'm just gonna kick things off with a Heavy Slam into the Tapu Lele and a Dazzling Gleam. It's not, I don't have much to lose. Gigalith is really bulky even without sand. So, I'll just go for the Dazzling Gleam, and if he takes out my Gigalith, then, it's not too threatening because I get to bring in my Dugtrio for free with a Sand Force boost. So, and then his Drampa is going to be taking a lot of damage from this Dazzling Gleam. So I'm going to lock this in. I think he's going to switch his Tapu Lele out, and that's fine. Yeah, because he lost the Terrain War. And he actually brings in Raichu, which is great for us because it's not going to want to take this combination. So yeah, Drampa takes a boatload of damage and goes for Draco Meteor onto our Gigalith, which we should be able to take as long as it's not Specs. Oh, that does a lot. Wow. Okay. That was surprising. Alright, So Raichu is going to get a boost from this electric terrain, but once again, I'm not too worried about that. I'm going to, because it can't really do anything in response to my Dugtrio. So I'm going to go for an Iron Head onto this Drampa, and I'm going to go for another Dazzling Gleam. I could actually go for a Discharge. Yeah, I'll go for a Discharge. That sounds really good. Because if Tapu Lele switches in and Raichu fakes out my Dugtrio, then the Discharge is still going to do a really good bit of damage. My opponent's playing really well, though, so... I mean, props. Solid props to my opponent. Alright, so he does withdraw Drampa, and hopefully into... Oh, so it's into Melodic, so this is going to be a big turn as long as he didn't fake out my Tapu Koko. So he goes for a Z Psychic, I'm guessing? Like a Shattered Psyche? I don't know what it's going for. Yeah, so a Shattered Psyche, because he does have the Tapu Lele. I have an Assault Vest Tapu Koko, and this is going to be a big turn for me. So, yeah, I'm actually expecting to take this really well. And I do take it pretty well considering that it's a Z move. So, yeah, solid. And I'm going to get a Sand Force boosted Iron Head off on this Melodic. So that's really good. And then on this next turn, I think that I am going to switch into Celesteela and go for an Earthquake, because I outspeed this, I don't outspeed the Raichu, but it can't really touch my Dugtrio. So yeah, I'm still gonna, I think I'm gonna Earthquake, and, oh man, if he Volt switches, that's bad. So, I'll actually go for a Rock Slide and a Discharge. That way I can punish anything that he switches in. And it gets to basically give me the priority for, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'll be able to get a free Celesteela switch if he takes out my Tapu Koko. So, that would be great for me. And I should still have 3 turns of sand left if I know my calcs. Oh, so he goes for a Psyshock. Okay, so that's interesting. So we will get a free switch. Hopefully my my Rock Slide doesn't miss. And it doesn't, so we get 2 KOs, and the biggest threat to our Dugtrio is taken out. And that's great, because we're gonna be able to go for a lot of things this next turn, because we brought Celesteela. So, yeah, awesome. He doesn't have an Intimidator, so we can go for an Earthquake and a Heavy Slam safely on this next turn, and the Earthquake won't be boosted. Actually, I could go for an Iron Head. But the Drampa's probably in range of an Earthquake, honestly. So I think I'm gonna go for the Earthquake. Cause yeah, this Cloud9's kind of screwing me up. But yeah. I think I will go for the safe play. I think I'll go for the Iron Head on the Drampa, and I'll go for a Heavy Slam on the Tapu Lele. Yep. Sounds good. So Tapu Lele goes for Round, which is interesting. Not sure what that's all about. And Drampa... I'm getting memed. Okay. Alright then. Wow. That is so weird. Alright, so we're gonna take out this Tapu Lele. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that, but I'm gonna get a special defense boost. So I should be able to take this next round. And I'll just go for another Heavy Slam? That was a spec... I guess maybe I don't understand Round's mechanics very well. But yeah, alright, so we get to take that battle, which is really cool. And yeah, so props to God. And that should actually give us a good number of points, because he was quite a bit higher than us in ranking. So we're definitely going to go to a second battle here. And let's see. Do not want to save a battle video. And yeah, so once again, just really, really good matchups around the board. I like my friend Jason Krell, who's been really, really instrumental in like making sure that I get all my teams and like helping me breed and stuff. Was talking to me about how he thinks that like the weakness to my team is like a good grass type, and I'm not sure I see it yet, just because of Celesteela and Salamence. So, yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out. I mean, Tapu Bulu is always a threat, but I have like a lot of ways to mitigate the Tapu Bulu threat to this team. So, yeah. So we're waiting on another trainer here. Hopefully we get matched up soon, and we get another really highly ranked player, which is great. This means that if we win, that our ranking's gonna go way up. It looks like our opponent's got a sand team, or not a sand team, a hail team. So I think I want to lead with Gigalith for sure. I usually lead with Gigalith. And a big problem for my team is going to be that Togedemaru. So that makes me think that Dugtrio is a solid choice. I think I'm gonna go with Gigalith and Tapu Koko in the front, just to punish any leads he might have. I think I'll go for Dugtrio in the back, and I want a flyer. And it sounds like, ooh, actually Salamence and Gigalith in the front might be really good, because he's probably gonna want to like lean on his Garchomp pretty heavily. And I've got a Z move on my Salamence, so that sounds really good. And then we'll go with Dugtrio and Tapu Koko in the back. This way I've got a lot of ways, like ample ways to hit his Togedemaru, which is a big threat to my team, and I can intimidate it right away if he leads with it. And then as long as we maintain our weather advantage, we're actually in a solid position against most of this team. So we're going to lock this in. Yeah, so we went with a set that's really similar. I don't know if the spread is the same, but really, really similar to Wolf Blix Salamence. So with a substitute and Draco Meteor and Flamethrower with Dragon Z, and it's been working out a lot. It takes out a lot of things that are threatening this team, namely Garchomp, and the Intimidate support is huge. So it really does feel like Tyranitar and Mega Salamence back in the day. And we see the lead that we definitely didn't want to see. However, I'm not worried, surprisingly, about this, because I can just go for an Earthquake this turn and a Dragon Z move on the Gyarados, and that's definitely what I want to do. He might Hydro Vortex us, but if he does, then once again we get our Dugtrio in for free, and I really like getting Dugtrio in for free, honestly, because if Gigalith doesn't go down on the first turn, then it's so bulky, and its attack is actually really great, and so it's gonna deal a massive damage if it lives. But I actually do expect like a Fake Out and a Hydro Vortex, or a Fake Out and a either a Fake Out and a Hydro Vortex, or a Fake Out and a Dragon Dance on this turn. So I'm gonna go for this, and that sounds really good. So yeah, we see the Fake Out. It goes into Salamence, so that's fine. Maybe we see a Hydro Vortex here. No, it just goes for a Waterfall, so we should be okay. I hope we don't flinch. All right, and we don't flinch, so we get a nice Earthquake off against this Togedemaru. And that's great because that's one of the bigger threats to the team, honestly, at least on my opponent's team, and we get to take it out, which is great. And we did see that our Salamence is faster than this Gyarados, so it's not a Choice Scarf Gyarados, which is great. So yeah, we're definitely in an advantage right now. We're up on a Pokemon, so yeah, Salamence coming in clutch. Seriously. Alright, so our opponent brings in Ninetales. I think on this next turn I am going to it's definitely going to outspeed my Salamence, so I think I'm going to switch in Tapu Koko and Protect. It's gonna hurt a lot to do this, but as long as I can maintain my Intimidate pressure, then the Gyarados shouldn't be too much of a threat. So we're going to switch into Tapu Koko, hope that we don't take too much blizzard damage, and go for this Protect here. And yeah, if Tapu Koko goes down, then we get to bring in Gigalith for free. So not bad. Yeah, I definitely expect to see a blizzard. I'm also, like, worst case scenario is my Tapu Koko gets frozen, which definitely happens with hail teams. So, oh, and we see a freeze dry on the Salamence, so that's actually great. And a waterfall comes out against our Tapu Koko, which is fine. So I think on this next turn, I am going to go for a discharge and to switch into Gigalith. It's going to mean that I have to hit my own Gigalith, but the ramifications for my opponent are a lot bigger. I don't expect that he brought 2 water types, but it wouldn't be surprising. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and go for this switch. I guess... Yeah, I definitely want to do it this way, because if I deal enough damage to the Ninetales, then I can take it out with the sand itself. So I anticipate that the Ninetales might actually switch out here just because the Gigalith switch is really obvious. But then again, my Salamence is slower than it, so it looks like it's going to stay in. So yeah, Gyarados protects, which is really interesting. And we should be able to outspeed this. And I'm just hoping that we don't, like, paralyze our own Gigalith, which would be bad. We do paralyze our own Gigalith, so bummer. But yeah, so we get a crit on the Ninetales, and we paralyze it, which is really good. It's actually faster than a lot of things on my team, and it looks like it gets a double connect on the Blizzard. Hopefully we don't see it freeze. We don't see a freeze, so that's really good. And then I think this next turn I can just safely Thunderbolt the Gyarados and go for a Rock Slide. So I'm gonna do that. I guess I could Dazzling Gleam and go for a Rock Slide. But no, you know what? I'm gonna go for a Discharge and a Rock Slide. I think that the payoff for that is a lot higher. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna Discharge and I'm gonna switch into my Dugtrio. Yeah. Because that way, if he has Garchomp in the back, I still outspeed it, so I can get like a Sand Force boosted Iron Head off, which will be really good. Oh, so he brings in Tapu Lele, so that's interesting. Yeah, we're actually in a solid position. Even without the terrain, I should be able to take out this Melodic, and I can just keep discharging. So I don't know why I called it Melodic. I meant Ninetales. So this next turn, I'm going to go for a... Let's see. Oh man, if we paralyze the Lele here, that would be so great. Alright, so we don't paralyze the Lele, which is fine. I anticipate that we're going to see the Ninetales switch out into Gyarados. So I'm going to Thunderbolt the Ninetales and go for an Iron Head onto the Tapu Lele. And yeah, that actually sounds great. So... we'll do that. The Sand Force boost. Okay, so Tapu Lele goes for Protect, and we get to take this Ninetales out with a Thunderbolt. And then I think on this next turn, I'm going to let's see. So I should live this. I don't live this. Oh, that's a bit of a problem for me. So I've got my Celesteela. No, I've got my Salamence. Okay. Actually, yeah, Salamence is really good here. So I can just switch in my Salamence and go for a Protect and an Iron Head. Or I could Protect and switch in my Gigalith. Let's see how many turns of sand I've got left. That's gonna be really important. Yeah. That is gonna be really important. But I think I'm fine with sacking my... Okay, so how many turns of sand do we have left? We have 2 turns of sand left. So I think on this next turn, what I do is I'm going to protect my Salamence and go for an Iron Head, and we're gonna scout for a Scarf. Oh wait, it doesn't have Scarf, it has Protect. Alright, so we can safely go for a Dragon Z onto this Gyarados, which should definitely take it out. And Tapu Lele protected that last turn, so we're going to go for a Sand Force boosted Iron Head on it. And that should definitely be game. So Tapu Lele goes for the double, which is good for us. And so we should be able to take it out. Yep, and we do. So yeah. Whew, what a game. So good game to my opponent. Yeah, this Drake should definitely pick up the kill on the Gyarados, and if it doesn't, then the Gyarados is intimidated. So I can just go for like a substitute and start Draco Meteoring it next turn, or just go for a Draco Meteor outright. But yeah, so we do get the KO on the Gyarados, which is solid. Get the 3-0. So yeah, once again, feeling really, really good about this team. It plays a lot like Japan Sand did, honestly. So the switches feel the same. And, you know, Tapu Lele has kind of reminded me of Gardevoir a lot, except with like boosted Psychic type moves instead of boosted Fairy moves from Pixelate. So I kind of play against it the same way, and with the exception of like Terrain Wars. So yeah, we get to get 2 wins today. Once again, this team feels really, really, really solid, and yeah, it looks weird. It looks really weird when you're checking it out in Team Preview because of the Tapu Fini mainly and the Dugtrio, which people haven't been using a lot. But yeah, Sandforce is honestly like, it's amazing for Dugtrio, and you're doing like kind of incremental damage against things that it doesn't get super effective like boosts against. And especially after it intimidates, but that incremental damage like really, really adds up. And so yeah, we get to take 2 wins today. Thanks for tuning in to Spire to the Sky. Please subscribe to the channel if this is your first time seeing the series, and leave a comment whether you're new or returning to the channel. And once again, my name is Kevin Handlin. I go by Skyburial on Twitter. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Stay tuned.